Hey guys, this is S. Schaefer 24. Sean Schaefer is my real name. Giving you my bonus footage for my review. I'm going to cover some things that couldn't really go through in the outline. Have a few things I want to tell you about myself first. I'm 24, 15 handicap, hovering right around there anyway. Normally shoot, best rounds in the low 80s. I've never broken 80, sadly. Been playing a lot. Been playing seriously for about 4 years now. Seriously meaning 70, 80, 90 rounds a year. Don't do tournaments or anything. But I love this. I'm very thankful for MyGolfSpy choosing me. This has been an awesome experience for me. Never really done anything like this before. So very excited to tell you guys what I have to think, or what I have to say, excuse me. First thing I want to talk about, guys, Hogan fit. This is a huge part of the process. Everybody knows that's into these clubs or has done any research on them. They're not really going to be in stores too much. So if you're looking into buying a set of these clubs, unless you have familiar with the Score brand, which are similar but not the same, you're really going to need to do a lot of the research through the website. One of the first things that MyGolfSpy want us to do is go do the Hogan fit, as everyone knows it applied, and see where that came out. Now, for me, as you read in my unboxing, mine was a little off at first. They were recommending regular flex shafts, really lightweight to try and get the ball in the air because of my distances with my 8-iron. I suffer from a blocky, cutty, high right fade, which is a swing flaw from coming over the top. We all know that. But basically, after calling in, I spoke with someone named Frank Wally. I think that's how you say the right name, or the last name. And we went through a very extensive conversation. It was 15 or 20 minutes long. I was on vacation. And he actually took me from the KBS Tour V regulars, I think that's what they were, into the KBS C-Taper and stiff. So there's a big change there. And after hitting them, they feel fantastic. So what I would recommend anybody that's looking into these clubs, make sure you get a hold of their customer service. Make sure you talk to them about your game, your style. Tell them your strengths and weaknesses. Don't over-exaggerate your numbers, because that's the only way they're going to be able to give you the fitting experience. Now, I want to give you guys my opinion on it because it's a little different. A lot of people are used to going into a shop and hitting and going through the whole process to get a number on what they should fit into. But what actually happens is you can kind of eliminate a lot of that. Hogan is an old world company thrown into a new world way of doing things, and their online fitting is fantastic. You talk to these people, you don't really need to hit on a lie board for them to tell you what kind of lie is correct to you. Now, you may need to bend them a degree or something like that after you get them if they're not ideal, but they can get it close. Lengths are the same thing. They can get them close based on your body type and your swing type and the previous clubs that you had. So it's pretty interesting. When you go through the process, you get your clubs, they're gapped ideally to try and give you the 10-yard gaps, we all know that. But the fitting online is very, very extensive. Go check it out. I highly recommend it. I really think that this is the way that a lot of golf companies are going to go to. It's something new that not a lot of people are offering, and I'm very happy with their process overall. I will say this, if I wouldn't have called in and spoken with Frank, I think my experience would have been different. So make sure you contact them in some way to verify it. You don't want to be spending $1,200, $1,600, $1,900 on a set of these irons and wedges without verifying your numbers. Next thing, unboxing. Everybody saw the pictures. I found something very interesting about the way Hogan decided to do this, okay? You get to the box, you go over everything, you get your beautiful new irons out, and they could go old school traditional and just give you a cardboard box. They could go like Mizuno and give you something that's branded that just says Ben Hogan Golf. But they chose a quote from Mr. Hogan himself to put across the bottom. And I find it very interesting that they chose this one. I mean, there's tons of things people remember about him, but it makes me wonder, what does this signify for the company? And what I think that it's trying to show what the iron is trying to accomplish. The iron is trying to make people feel like they're hitting golf shots. Not that they're going out and they're hitting a 7-iron 170 yards, because that doesn't matter. It wants people to feel like they're playing something that they're in control of, that they're having the experience that they choose to have, and that they're playing a game. They're playing around. They're not going out and hacking. They're not going out and, duffing the ball around the course, but they can control what they're doing. And as you can see, the first thing that they launch with on their website, you go in, it says precision is back. And I think that this slogan represents that. It tells people a way that when you hit that pure feeling, the feeling that everybody in golf, they feel at one time, whether you're a 35 handicap or a 2 or a +2, anybody that feels that shot, it's the best feeling in the world. And I think that Hogan is signifying these irons are on a mission to capture that for you. Okay, guys, next thing, Terry Kohler. What does he bring to the Hogan brand? Everybody knows. If you don't, you can read about it on their website. He went from Score, very successful brand, at least in wedges. A lot of you guys play a full set of theirs, including the pitching wedge. He went from that brand, scrapped the whole idea, successful company on the upturn. People knew the name, and he went and he decided to bring an old company back from the dead. Why did he do that? What does he bring to the table? Some of you guys hopefully listened to the podcast link that I put in the thread, and if you did, you'll get some sense of that from there. But my opinion of what Terry brings is the design aspects. If you listen to him on that podcast, he really brings the modern edge to these clubs. And yes, they keep the traditional Apex iron look, feel, hopefully. I haven't had a chance to hit the Apex, but I've heard a lot of people say they're similar feeling. But he really brings that modern spin that these clubs need. Because to just bring back a set of blades from the dead and hope that suddenly they have new grooves and now they're conforming and that they're going to recapture a segment of the golf world. Maybe they do because of the name they used to have, but people like me who are young, they don't really care about the name Ben Hogan Golf out of the gate. They need to be sold on it. What do these do that's different? And the biggest thing to me, outside of him being a golf idol of mine, is really the modern twist, the V-sole. The progressive club head changes that they make. Every single club head for every loft is different. Think about that. Normal company, your TaylorMades, your Callaways, they're producing one club head with slight changes for the whole set. They made from 20 degrees to 64, every club head is different. That means they're trying to worry about precision, and that is something that is a huge undertaking that really no other golf company is trying to do. There might be a few, but they're doing it in a broader scale with the right name and the legacy of the man that created it. Okay, guys, got a few more left. This one is pretty interesting to me. What is the brand mission and what's different about these clubs? A lot of you, like I said, you haven't had the opportunity to hit them. At first, they're going to feel, they definitely look like a bladed iron. Being a higher handicap, mid-handicap myself, that's a little intimidating. Now, I'm your weird kind of golfer that prefers a more challenging looking head to hit. My first set after game improvement clubs that my dad built for me were MP59s. And the brand mission to me out of these irons is they're trying to bring people of my skill level into a beautiful looking club. They're trying to take the forgiveness that a game improvement iron has, wrap it into a bladed iron, and at the same time give you that classic look, feel, performance that you want out of this type of club. So they're really trying to capture a wider audience than what a traditional blade iron would, which is amazing. Anybody that considers themselves a golfer, not a weekend golfer, but someone who is religious about the game, who really enjoys playing it, who looks into it, reads articles, is a MyGolfSpy forum member, okay? They want that feeling. People make sacrifices to look at a more ugly club, but everybody out there prefers the look of a blade. And if you don't, that's fine, but I would say the vast majority of people do. Hogan is trying to take that feeling, that want, make it friendlier, and wrap it into this iron. They've absolutely nailed that. There is some distance loss if you hit it thin or fat, just like anything compared to a game improvement, but that is well worth the sacrifice to look at these clubs, to have the feeling of hitting the shot right out of the middle. You don't compare that with any other iron that's out there. So that to me is what's different and what the brand mission is. The last and most important part for me to talk about, the legacy of Mr. Hogan with these irons. And legacy is really the word I want to focus on here, because if there's anything that's more profound in this whole thing that I've had the opportunity to experience, I can't think of it. To me, these irons truly capture the man himself. Okay, now I want everybody to take a minute. We're going to get a little deep. I want you to think about branding, the things that you own, the things that you buy, things you can put your money into. Okay, a lot of them are tied to a person, and a lot of them have that legacy behind them. You know, Under Armour, the shirt I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see it, it might not have a man's name tied to it, but somebody invented this brand. The Apple Watch I have on, Steve Jobs, everybody knows, you know, he's behind the heart and soul of that company. Ben Hogan's name is on these irons, okay? It's very uncommon anymore to have somebody's name directly on the product that's produced. It's even more unusual to have them transcend so much of time that they have. He created this company a long time ago, well before I was born. It was at one point one of the most prominent golf companies in the world. It's fallen from grace, and now it's brought back. Now, to me, why did it fall from grace, and why was it now chosen to be brought back? Well, it fell from grace because they lost their way, they lost their conforming grooves, we all know that. And then because of that, they couldn't innovate, and they fell out of the market. Terry Kohler brought them back, and with that, he brought Mr. Hogan's legacy back to the forefront. What's so interesting to me with these is, even though the man has sadly been, you know, out of this world for a period of time now, the legacy of him still lives on. He is one of the timeless names of this sport, and his name is stamped on the back of these irons, signifying that. Okay, when you go out on a golf course, you see somebody who used to play Apex irons or was a diehard Hogan fan for the long time. They're ecstatic to see that this brand is back. A lot of people don't know it. Okay, to me, it was absolutely crucial that these irons delivered on everything that they promise because of the man's legacy. He has transcended his time in golf. He is still a very prominent name and considered to have one of the best swings of all time. Today, okay, 2015. That means the company that has his name has to produce. They have to deliver on their product. Ben Hogan Golf absolutely has done that. They've done that through their innovative design, the club heads that I've already talked about, the perimeter weighting that they've brought back more towards the middle and given us a more forgiving, loft-specific central weight location to try and give us absolute top-end performance out of our irons. Perfect distance gains, perfect distance gaps. They've delivered on all aspects of this, and to me that is so important that Terry Kohler was able to do that with these irons, because it was huge. He could have easily left Score on the back of these irons and sold them, and I could be testing them with that name. But they wouldn't mean as much to me because they have a man's name tied to them. They're not as important if they don't, and they do. And with that being said, the company absolutely delivered, and I'm so happy for that. Everyone at MyGolfSpy, GolfSpy T, Barbaho, Bones, everybody else that's involved, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. It's been an absolute blast. I can't say I've had a better golf experience than this. I would love to do it in the future. To anybody who didn't have the opportunity and would like to hit these clubs, please do. If you're in the Pennsylvania area, get a hold of me. I'd be more than happy to let people hit these irons. I'm fortunate enough to have this set, and you know, I didn't do anything to do it to earn that besides, you know, give my 2 cents. So to anybody out there that's thinking about them, I would absolutely recommend putting these on your short list. They are fantastic irons. They are in my bag. And thank you guys again at MyGolfSpy. It's been a pleasure. And Ben Hogan.